there, Chris.
For me, it's the controlled aggression. It's like an explosion of all your abilities to try and get this machine through a road as quickly as possible. You need very quick reactions. Your vision needs to be very, very sharp. All the time your brain is maybe 300 meters up the road. Driving in night, it's like driving in a tunnel. The small things that you take for granted in daylight all of a sudden become blind and you can see absolutely nothing. It's not about the fame, it's not about the money, it's about pure satisfaction.
Share all the sensations of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge all season long, live on British Eurosport and British Eurosport 2.
Here in Venice, Los Angeles, because we put on the greatest strength show in the world. It's the World's Strongest Man Super Series, and not just any venue will do. This time we've taken it to the very home of muscle and strength in the world. We're in California, we're in Venice. We brought the strongest men in the world. Let's see who wins.
Venice Beach, one of the glamour destinations for the Super Series for World Strongman. Well, it really is a very quirky venue, but certainly suits the showbiz element for some of the competitors on this tour. And talking of which, here are the lads. And it's a fine lineup, the likes of Brian Shaw going well on the Super Series this year. From England, Terry Holland's going to try his luck over in the States. Bulgarian Stoyan Todorchev just searching for a bit of form on the Super Series. Can he come good in Venice Beach? Stefan Solvi Persson of Iceland, one of the Vikings on show today. Dave Osland, the big man, the wood chopper from the USA. Can he come up with something big on the sand? Johannes Asho will be hoping not, the man from Sweden. Another man from the States, one of the oldest competitors, Nick Best, certainly punching above his weight this season. And Jarek Dymek of Poland, another big name on this Super Series. And joining them, also from the USA, Jason Bergman. And alongside him, his compatriot, another man to reckon with, winner on the Super Series this year, Marshall White. Krzysztof Radikovsky, you can count on him to win a couple of events. Will it be good enough, though? And Jimmy Marcu, another man crossing the Atlantic Ocean from England. Well, I said it's a fine lineup. And as the boys plod away on the sand, thinking about glories here in Venice Beach, let's get back to Anders.
The World's Strongest Man Super Series is coming to Venice Beach. We've brought the 12 strongest men in the world to compete here at one of the greatest venues there is. So let it all begin and let the strongest man win.
Away we go then with our first event, Farmer's Walk. To 160 kilogram weights in each arm. Really is massive lifting. And Jimmy Marcu, 18.69 meters. Jason Bergman, 35.86. Dave Osland, the big man, couldn't march it out beyond 25.8. Johannes Asa finishing the course, 50.06 seconds, so he gets on the board. Jarek Dymek, 40 meters in 50.41. And Nick Best also getting across the line in 51.75. So some big finishes for the big men. This really is a tough event. So Pedersen up against Todorchev. Todorchev has just been a little hot and cold this season. We know what he's capable of. And this is certainly one of the events that he can excel in. The 40-meter track, and that's not a good start from Todorchev. So Pedersen is away, but he's struggling. Can he get across the line? No, just falls short. And here comes Todorchev. Is he going to beat him? Good stuff from the big man. Beats him to the change. Todorchev has still got energy in those legs. big long hold from Pedersen. He doesn't look ready to go yet at all, and this is better from the Bulgarian. And Todorochev now finding his rhythm. Just went a little harum-scarum in those first few metres, but this second 20 is beautiful. And Todorochev 37.81. That moves him into top spot. And I think Pedersen might be calling it a day there. No, he's going to have one more bash. Up they go, and down they go. That's it for the man from Iceland. 34.6 metres then for Stefan Solvi Pedersen.
Stoyan Todorochev has moved into the lead.
Our new leader then, but Stoyan not happy because he did drop the Farmer's Walk weights in those first 5 metres. Took him time to recover.
United States of America, Marshall White.
So Marshall White knows that there's a big score on the board now. Looking to beat those 37.81 seconds. Radziakowski as well, perfectly capable. This should be a good race between these two men. Might just drive each other on because both of them perfectly capable of completing the 220-metre legs. And remember, 160 kilograms in each arm. That's a fine start. Well, Marshall stopping after 10, so he's got to get himself sorted to go again. Superb effort from Radziakowski. And just goes short of the line. He lost his rhythm, didn't he? This is where Todorochev was so good. He's going to get across the line, I think. And he does. 42.35 seconds. So the Bulgarian is still in the lead. Todorochev. Radziakowski competitive, certainly. And Marshall White really not delivering the goods here. Well, round about 4.5 metres away in that second 20, 24.15. That's the best he can manage. That's not a good start to this event here on home soil. Here we go then, Brian Shaw, big favourite with this US crowd.
England's strongest man, Terry Hollands.
Up against the man from England, Terry Hollands. Now, can Hollands produce something big here? Needs a good start in this Venice Beach event, but he's up against a man who knows how to play with the big boys. And this is a good start from both men. This is a very fast first 20. And they get to the turn in a little under 12 seconds. Now, how quick can they get the weights going again? This is where the delay occurs as the chalk goes on again. The guys take a breather. Little look across there from Hollands just to see what Shaw is doing. And both men are going to go off at exactly the same rate. Hollands just tiring a little bit. Shaw looks very strong still. Look at this wonderful determination from the American. Keeps it very tight, very concise, and he's coming to the line now for the lead time. Is he? No, outside the time of Todorochev. Just took his time on the changeover, the transition end there, the American. But it's not a bad start from Brian Shaw. Plenty of support for Terry Hollands. Popular name on this tour as he tries to shunt those two weights across the line. And he dumps it over along with the sign for 57.44. So Hollands destroying the set here in Venice Beach, but not destroying his chances early on, getting across the line, but nobody could match Stoyan Todorochev. He takes top points in that first event, just ahead of Brian Shaw, and Radziakowski finishes up in 3rd place. Decent start then to the event here, and when we come back, we're going to meet a film star. What else in LA?
Awaiting the hand of fate, the 16 survivors in Europe's 2 biggest football competitions. It's the all-important draw for the quarter-finals, and it's live on British Eurosport. The UEFA draws Friday morning, the Champions League at 11, the Europa League at 12, live on British Eurosport.
All the top Eurosport events in 2010, plus much more live and on-demand sport. Only on Eurosport Player. To find out more, go to eurosportplayer.co.uk.
A man walks into a bar and says,
"My name is Ishmael. Some years ago,
I started calling myself Ginger.
Peter,
Sherlock,
Rosemary, Emmanuel, the real Slim Shady,
rumoured to be the new signing for
Westminster and the Thames.
And I just loved to ride horses.
Anyway, it was about 11 o'clock in the morning.
clouds were gathering across the moor.
It was the day my grandmother exploded.
Very messy. But when mixed with half a pound of butter, you get the most delightful creamy sauce.
Which, when eaten as part of a calorie-controlled diet, means...
Nothing could be more becoming to your complexion.
Hang on a minute. Let's get
back to the main plot.
and that man Rodriguez, who slithered into the bar with a
Man who could cry milk.
2 bikini-clad lovelies.
11 piglets.
A boy who never grew up.
The world tiddlywink champion.
A pair of star-crossed lovers.
And the barman says, "What's this? A joke?"
Improving your reading can change your life.
One of the most historic classics welcomes one of the hottest new rivalries in world cycling. Can Mark Cavendish overcome Tour de France nemesis Thor Hushovd and become the first Brit to win back-to-back classics? The Milan-San Remo, Saturday at 2 p.m, live on British Eurosport.
Welcome back to Venice Beach, one of the glamour locations on the World's Strongest Man Super Series. You can see all sorts here, including the Strongman in action. And here are 3 of our boys, just taking some time over breakfast, a big breakfast, I assume.
Okay, boys.
Yeah, we were right.
Good help, guys. Oh, yeah.
Let's hear from Brian Shaw and the lads.
Well, you know, I normally try to eat a bunch, you know. I'm probably around a couple dozen eggs a day, you know, 3 to 4 pounds of meat depending on the day. And, you know, it's all, you know, a lot of eating all day. I mean, it's a lot of work. So by the end of the day, you're tired of chewing, you know.
Johannes, finally a Viking-sized meal.
Yeah, this is really a Viking-sized meal. This is the biggest omelette I ever seen in my life. It's a really World Strongman Super Series omelette.
How many eggs do you normally eat?
Callie will make me about an 18-egg white omelet every morning. And then a bowl of oatmeal.
How many times a day do you eat?
About 6. I eat about 6 times a day.
Amongst the boys' eating habits, let's hear from Super Series founder.
Well, I used to live in Venice Beach here in California when I was active as a bodybuilder back in the 70s. Yes, Venice Beach is a place which people recognize, TV audiences around the world. So put the 12 strongest men of the world to compete in Venice Beach in California it's a trademark. It's very unique, and I think this is where we belong.
Well, Ulf's the big star, but he wasn't the only star out and about. He caught up with Steve Marcus, or Nick the Greek, as he's known from the film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
I've been out here living here now for 7 months.
And does so much more happen for you here than back home?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's working really well. Things are going well, keeping busy and getting out there, getting lots of auditions.
I'm supposing that the Ninja Assassin is all done and just waiting for it to come out. So what's the next project? What will you be working on now?
I'm just about to start. I'm trying to write something at the moment, a little movie, which I'm not saying anything more than that. And I'm also developing a TV show.
Oh, can you tell us about that then?
A little bit, yeah. It's myself and a musician guy, Paul Ryder, who's over there. We're going to do a little discovery of the more interesting parts of Los Angeles.
This sounds shady.
Could be, yeah. Maybe it will be, yeah.
Well, we'll be looking forward to see that, and we will definitely go and see Ninja Assassin.
Thanks to Steve and Paul. Now then, next up, it's the overhead press medley. Just so we know exactly what's going to go on under the watchful eyes of the LAPD and the LAFD.
We've reached the second event, the overhead press medley, and this is with a twist, because we'll be using the Atlas stone for the first object. The round stone, quite familiar to most of you, but this thing weighs 225 pounds, 100 kilos, and it needs to be pressed overhead. We don't normally do that. And it's at that wouldn't be enough. We move over to 115 kilo or 250-pound aluminum block. Same thing, we don't know what else to do with it, so they have to press it overhead. And then, back to where it all started. This is old school, and this is so old there wasn't even any school. You just get a field stone and you press it overhead at 275 pounds. That is 125 kilos. And by any chance that there would be anybody with any strength left at all, we go back to what we normally use to lift overhead, the log, at 330 pounds, 150 kilos. If they have any strength left at all, they lift it overhead as many times as possible. They have 2 minutes to try to do this. Most of them will be using all of their 2 minutes. Let's see who can do it.
You bet they will to get this lot overhead. 105k for the Atlas Stone to start off with is bad enough, and it doesn't get much better after that. Jimmy Marcoux managed 2. Marshall White not having a good time in Venice Beach. Really getting injured there. 2 implements for him. Terry Hollands, he managed 2 and a shake of the head as well. Johannes Arschot, 2 for him after the aluminium block. Pedersen, 3, nearly a smile. First man to get to the old school phase. Then Jarek Dimek joined him with 3. Nick Best managed to get that 3rd one overhead just. Nadiakovsky, 3 plus the log lift. Very impressive.
Jason Bergman!
So, Jason Bergman. Can he do something here? Starts off with that Atlas Stone. And as you heard Anders say, this isn't normally something that the guys would do. Not the heaviest stone, but dealt with it pretty well. But you'll see a few sort of nervous looks to the judge, just to see if the lift has been cleared. All sorts of techniques been used, and that is impressive. That's beautiful from Bergman. Now, that was a far more confident look to the referee. Little flex of the lower back there I thought I saw from Jason. But away we go with the field stone. Onto the chest, trying to develop almost a clean and jerk method here. Up it goes. Yeah, nice. And thrown down with contempt before he heads over to the log. Now then, how many reps can he get out of this? We've seen Radiakovsky with 1 rep. He's the most impressive so far. Bergman sticks it up there for 1 rep on the clean and jerk. Now then, gonna have to get that back on the tyres. Gets a bit of help for that. That's all completely within the rules. Just double checking that he's got time left here, and he has. And he might as well take his time. If he can produce 1 more rep here, he's in the lead, and it's a good lead. Might be good enough for the points, you know. This is great work from Jason Bergman. Good home support here for the American. Up it goes, big smile. And Bergman, 2 log lifts, that's enough for today, he says. But my goodness, that was impressive. 3 implements, 2 log lifts.
Jason Bergman into the lead. After those 3 first objects, nobody thought that anybody was going to get to the log. You did it twice. You could have gone more.
I think maybe I could have got 1 more, but my knee's bothering me right now. I'm just really glad I got that thing. I've missed that thing a lot of times, and I finally got it.
Out of Minnesota, David Ostlund!
David Ostlund, who burst onto the strongman scene some 5 or 6 years ago, and then he's really started to take it on as a full-time occupation. One of the tall boys, though, if you think of the likes of Tarmo Mitt, the sort of 2-metre tall strongmen who do have an advantage in certain events, but this one will hurt. Certainly strong enough to go all the way to the log lift. But those long levers require some serious technique to make sure there's no injuries there. Bergman leads. 125k on the field stone. He's making it look like a pebble, isn't he? That is impressive from Ostlund. Now, can he make the drive? Just took a bit of time there to settle, and that's a lot of arm strength used up. Didn't really use the legs there, David Ostlund. And he's going to have to.
He's got a minute to go.
Looking for 2 reps in a minute. I think that's probably beyond Ostlund, so he might just have to settle for 1. which means he'll match Radiakovsky. But I think he's going to run out of time if he's going to catch Bergman. That was a nice first lift. Down it goes. He's got to get straight back in there. No real time here. He's going to have to suck this in and go. And he's running it mighty close to the clock. Up it goes. Got to get it onto the chest now. Drive it out, Dave. Oh, not quite. It's going to be mighty difficult to go again. No, wasn't going to happen. Nothing left in those arms. 3 and 1. Matches Radiakovsky, but a very good effort there from David Osland.
Good solid run, but it wasn't that easy. They're heavy.
That fieldstone was a lot of problems to guys before you, but you didn't seem to mind at all.
No, I like pressing the rocks. It's just, you got to stay calm, get your balance. Once you do that, it's not too bad to press.
The next man to do the overhead lift is from Colorado, USA, Big Brian Shaw!
So another man from the woods, as it were, Brian Shaw. Slightly shorter levers than Osland, and in super form so far in this year's Super Series. Pretty easy from the Atlas Stone point of view. Now, this is a tricky object to handle. Doesn't look like it's going to be, but that aluminium's not easy to get a grasp on, but he's made that look easy, and he's not rushing, is he? Taking his time, approaching each implement as you really should, as an individual lift. And from Shaw's point of view, he wants to leave himself with a bit of time so that he can press 2 or more reps out on that log lift. If he gets there, of course, after the field stone. Yeah, easy. All relative, of course, but for these guys, that was a relatively straightforward lift. On goes the chalk onto the front of the vest. Make sure that he's got every possible advantage when moving that weight through and up his body. This will go up onto the chest. He's going to press that out to hopefully get his first rep. Look at the pecs. He's resting that right on top of the chest. And in the end, with the leg drive as well, it made it look relatively straightforward. Shaw with his gum shield in. Technique there to get a bit of respite on the knees before he rolls it up onto the top of the chest and drives it out for 2. He's matched his compatriot Jason Bergman. Same technique again. It's what all the good athletes do, replicating those movements, and there's 3. And Brian Shaw moves into the lead. What an attempt there from the American.
If you had had more time, could you have done another one on the log?
Yeah, I think so. That log is, it's different. It's very awkward compared to some other logs. So, you know, it's just feeling it out, and it wasn't too bad. So, whatever. We'll see what Stoyan can do.
Nowadays, you come to any contest you consider a favorite. Is it beginning to feel like that for yourself as well?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've improved a lot over the last couple years here, and you know, I feel like I got a lot of room to improve, but you know, you come out and you got to compete, and all these guys are great out here, so it was really not a favorite coming in, but you know, hopefully I'm proving that I'm one of the better guys, so we'll see.
From Bulgaria, Stoyan Todorchev.
So Brian Shaw leads. Stoyan Todorchev is next up. He's not looking all that confident, is he? He was fantastic in the Farmer's Walk. The man that leads after one event. Up goes the Atlas Stone. Well, that was smooth. Struggling with the block. Gets it up onto the chest, but he doesn't look comfortable at all with this. He's moving all over the shop. Got to be very careful. That is an incredibly heavy lump of metal to be dropping. Not in control. Oh, no. Oh, just got out of the way, did Stoyan. It was Aslan that made the point. Once you get balanced, these objects are actually okay to press out, but it's the getting balanced. Getting yourself in a set position so that you can drive up with the arms, supported by the movement of the lower body to help with the power. And for me, Stoyan Todorcev just can't get to grips with this block at all. He's holding it at the front again. This is going to tip straight over once more. Got to get those hands central. You can't, no, you cannot do that. And Todorcev's had enough, and that's a shame after such a good start. Unfortunately for him, he's rather thrown it away. And just the single implement for Todorcev, that's going to cost him big. So Brian Shaw, super effort, got through the implements, got the reps out to beat Jason Bergman and David Osland in third. So 1, 2, 3 for the USA in that last one, but it sends Brian Shaw to the top of the table. Radziakowski, his closest challenger at the moment, in second place, and Bergman in third. More to come then from the Strongman paradise after the break. Stay with us for more big lifts from Venice Beach.
Hit in Vancouver. Freestyle skiing's really come of age. Great attitude, awesome ride. Freestyle Ski World Cup Finals, Muggles from Sierra Nevada. Thursday, live on Eurosport 2.
Uh-oh, running on empty. That means it's time to charge your phone and fill her up. Subscribe to Jamster for £4.50 a week and get the amazing Fuel Gauge living wallpaper when you send Fuel 5 to 88888. It'll let you know when you have to charge your phone and you're close to empty. So to get it now and set as a wallpaper or screensaver, just send Fuel 5 to 88888. That's Fuel 5 to 88888 now.
And 6 left minus for the care, Chris. 1 right minus.
For me, it's the controlled aggression. It's like an explosion of all your abilities to try and get this machine through a road as quickly as possible. You need very quick reactions. Your vision needs to be very, very sharp. All the time your brain is maybe 300 meters up the road. Driving in night, it's like driving in a tunnel. The small things that you take for granted in daylight all of a sudden become blind and you can see absolutely nothing. It's not about the fame, it's not about the money, it's about pure satisfaction.
Share all the sensations of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge all season long, live on British Eurosport and British Eurosport 2.
Welcome back. Next up, it's the Shield Carry. Let's hear more from some of the lads. And also, we'll be hearing from the leader, Brian Shaw. Well, we saw him having breakfast earlier. And the boys look fueled up and ready to go. At the most famous gym in the world.
Most famous gym in the whole world. So it's really cool to be here, and I'm hoping to do really good here in Venice Beach, of course. But the goal is, of course, to end off the season with a real blast in Gothenburg, on my home soil. So, of course, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Yeah. Of course, there are guys that are going to fight for the top spots in this competition. I don't know. Of course, Brian Shaw is a monster. Nick Best is 4 years old, but still kicking ass.
I'm coming to Sweden.
I'm not really worried about anybody in particular, just everybody, I guess, you know. So you got to beat everybody to win, so, you know.
There's nobody here that doesn't belong here. This is going to legitimately be one of the hardest contests I think I've ever done. That is my goal, is to win the whole thing and walk off with that belt.
Let's hope that bit of training in the home of the stars helps them. 180 kilograms on the shield lift. Marshall White, 27.5 seconds, not bad. Jarek Dymek, not good. 1 inch was the best he could manage. Todorochev back into the sprint event and felt at home to produce a good time. So the crowd are ready to see what this man Pedersen can do. Iceland versus England in this next one. Terry Hollands, who's ticked along quite nicely at this event so far. Isn't it good to see the lads in Gold's Gym? You saw the photos of all the big boys, the likes of Arnie and the crew in the background. The heady days of the late 60s and 70s. But on now to the new millennium and the new type of strongman. Hollands is flying. Beautiful turn there, gets the first 20 metres knocked out. A little bit shaky away from the line there, but he's going to get himself across the 40-metre mark in a very good time. That's superb from Terry Hollands, 21.9. Pedersen, 26.06, which is a good time as well, but pales into insignificance next to that sprint from Terry Hollands. So Johannes next up.
David Ostlund!
Up against Dave. Big Dave from the USA. Again, another consistent performer, Ostlund. If he can get this up, his stride pattern should be an advantage. Up it goes, into that grip, lock the fingers out, and away you go. You just want to keep moving. You do not want to stop, because getting this thing off the floor is going to be difficult. I'm sure I won't be the only one to say that. And away he goes. He really is pushing for a time here. Ostlund's going to cross it just outside. Well, that is very good. And in fact, he is just inside Holland's time. Super effort from him.
This is an incredible heavy object to carry around, but all of you running with it, is it that easy?
Once you get in position and you kind of get your arms around it, it's not bad to walk with. The challenge is picking it up and getting into that position.
And it's worth taking the time, because what would happen if you drop it halfway down?
If you drop this thing flat, it's almost impossible to pick up because it's so heavy and metal is very slippery. So you don't want to drop it at all. That's the last thing.
From the USFA, Jason Bergman!
Yeah, that's the point that David Ostlund has made well. If it's flat on the ground, how do you get your fingers under it? How do you lever this object up? 180k shield. Interesting to see these two boys up against each other. Bergman, the younger of the two, up against 40-year-old Nick Best. Still banging out the big performances on this Super Series. And struggling to get the shield into the air. The shorter levers of Jason Bergman working well. And Bergman is sprinting, but it's slipping, Bergman's struggling. Oh, down he goes, and down it goes. Now, can he prise this off the floor? That is some effort with the fingers. And he tries to lug it across like a removal man. Nick Best, 24.65. And Bergman will be kicking himself. That would have been the lead time. And this is where it went wrong. Slipped, tripped, and nearly got ripped. But that is some recovery. And the weight just proving too difficult. You just tried to go crab style, but you cannot move this along unless you've got control. And well played, Nick Best saw his chance and took it.
In lane number 1 from Poland, Krzysztof Radzikowski. And in lane number 2 from the United States of America, Big Brian Shaw.
Radzikowski then, up against Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw, real gentleman, very modest. Almost every interview he gives just talks about how good the others are, but at some stage, Brian Shaw has to realise he's a genuine talent. No linked fingers here. He's going to rely on keeping those biceps flexed and keeping those wrists, pressing the hands in on the shield. And this is good work from Brian Shaw. It's not going to be fast enough to beat the previous times of Holland and Ostlund, but it's still a good effort. And Radzikowski, a big favourite with this crowd, gets across in 34.72. Massive clang as the weight hit the floor. Ostlund then taking it by the narrowest of margins from Terry Hollands. Good points for those two, and Todorochev back into an event that he likes. Bit of speed work and it served him well. Brian Shaw, though, still the man to catch, but it's Osland that's moved into second place. Nick Best temporarily disposed by Todorochev in third. It really is a cracking venue. Next up, Super Yokes. 385 kilograms, 40 metres the distance again, 60 seconds is the time limit. Marshall White did it in 34.33. Pedersen could only manage 11.45 metres before the clock ran out. Jarek Dymek, who's having a sorry time here at Venice Beach, 10.09. But Radziakowski flew through, 28.62. Terry Hollands couldn't quite match that Shield performance at 30.41, but good nonetheless.
Number one, representing the US of A, Jason Bergman.
Bergman then.
And lane number
You'll see the difference in the heights of the two carry bars here. Orca is set just a touch higher because of his superior height. Now, it's the tall guys that have to watch here. They must not let this weight start to swing. Side to side, not too bad, but backwards and forwards is a problem, and this is good stuff from both men. Dumps it down, gets the change, and away he goes again. This is very impressive indeed. You can't argue with this from Jason Bergman, and this man is putting in a super effort here at Venice Beach. 25.53 for the lead. Not that far off the pace. Oshot is really trying hard to keep the rhythm going, but he just couldn't find that pace, could he? 36.84, shake of the head, he's not a happy man.
Number one, 41 years old, out of Las Vegas, Nick Best.
It's over 40 and things start to get tough when it comes to sport. Nick Best made of very special stuff, but he's up against another man who likes the sprint events. Todorochev is away fast, getting those legs pumping away, just about in control of that weight. Gets it over the line. Quick change from Todorochev. Needs to get away fast, and he does so. And this is good rhythm from the Bulgarian. Glasses slipping for Nick Best. He's struggling in this. Can Todorochev make it to the line? Oh, this is a great run from Best. Very fast sprint at the end there. 27.43, but doesn't quite manage to match Todorochev. But that's a fine effort from both men there. Always good when you get two competitors very close to drive each other on. And I think that's what we might just have.
David
Osland, a previous winner here, as you heard from Anders, in Venice Beach.
Number two, the overall leader of the competition, from Colorado, Big Brian Shaw.
It's up against a man who I think we can safely say has a very good chance of being present winner. There we go. Osland picking up a good rhythm, but he can't match Brian Shaw. This is superhuman from Brian Shaw. Dumps it down, and the quick change here will be important. Well, it's Osland that gets away to a slightly rushed start, and Shaw took his time there, but now he's into a rhythm. This is starting to work. Osland is hurting, but Shaw is going to make the line. Not going to be fast by any means. 34.41. Importantly for Shaw, that will have kept him in contention. Osland making heavy work of this. 40.63. Well, a very good effort there from all the guys. Todorochev wins another of the speed events, covering those 40 metres in 25.19. Bergman and Best picking up the points also for the USA. It means that that lead for Brian Shaw has been reduced. Todorochev is hunting him down.
We're at the deadlift medley, and this is going to be something else. We have the first 300-kilo deadlift here with a 2-inch handled bar. 660 pounds. Then they move on to the Apollon's wheels here, which is up to 320 with 705 pounds. You get to stand on that, so it's not too easy either. And the handle, by the way, is still thick. And then you move on to the famous Louis Cyr dumbbell. This is 340 kilos, 750 pounds. You get this off the floor, then basically you've taken everything out of your back. If you haven't, we still have got a frame for you, weighing 300 kilos. That is 660 pounds. You don't just have to lift that. You have to pick it up and walk down there. That's another 60 foot or 20 meters. And when we've been through that, I don't think they're all going to be there.
I think you're quite right, Anders. I'll find a name for this one. Mental, I think, is the one that fits. David Osland, the first man to endure the pain, did it in 53.22 seconds. Terry Hollands, 51.35. Good effort again from the Englishman. Jason Bergman, though, cutting them all to shreds. 32.03, flying from the American. And the Pole, Radzikovski, good effort from him, 33 seconds. He's still there or thereabouts.
Nick Best!
Bestie then, next up. Enjoying his time as the senior pro, shall we say, on this tour. And loving every minute of it. Away we go then. 330 kilograms deadlift, first of all. Relatively straightforward for these guys, some of whom have held deadlift world records in the past. All part of the powerlifter's armoury. Your basic training, but what's left? He's flying, isn't he? Nick Best determined here. This is super stuff from him. Can he get in under 30 seconds? The 20 metres really does take it out of the legs, and he flew over 27.43. That is astonishing. Nick Best, our leader. You can't argue with that.
We have a new leader, 27.44, Nick Best.
It's certainly worth a chat with Nick after that one.
Nick Best, I keep telling everybody you're really, really old. Do you need all that time to get this good?
Yeah, it took a long time, like 26 years.
Everybody, I was worried about the grips before. Nobody's having any problems with the grip.
No, the grip on the frame isn't too bad. It's just smooth. But the grip on the other stuff, they're a little bit thicker, but they're not too bad. There's a little gnarly on them, so it's not bad.
This puts you in a really, really good position now. There's still a few more guys to come out. Are they going to be behind you as well, do you think?
Yeah.
Nick Best, ladies and gentlemen.
Nick Best staying confident. There's Callie in the audience. Just applauding him on. Yeah, Todorchev. We know he loves the speed. Can he cope with the deadlifts? Watch how fast this man moves. Fast and explosive. Checks with the ref that that's a legal lift. Onto that aluminium block. Holland's wheels, easily done. It's not the quickest through these heavier elements. I think Todorchev is going to go with the frame. Up go the dumbbells, into the frame. Now this is where it could count. He's got to go under 27 seconds if he's going to beat Nick Best at the top of the tree, and it looks good for the Bulgarian. It is good. 26.44, and Nick Best's reign at the top was very short-lived.
26.44, Stoyan Todorchev in the lead. Stoyan, you're in the lead after the deadlift medley. You won 2 events. Will you win the competition?
Yes, I'm happy for this event because I'm first, and next competition, I don't know.
Brian Shaw is still coming out. You think he can beat your time?
Very big and strong.
Stoyan Todorchev of Bulgaria!
Now then, Stoyan done himself a few favours there by putting himself in top spot.
From Colorado, USA, Big Brian Shaw!
But it's an interesting situation because Brian Shaw needs the points, so he needs to go fast. He needs to try to get as high up the table as he can in this event. If he can win it, then that is all good for Brian Shaw. But it also means he knocks his major opponent, Todorchev, into a lower spot for less points. So this is very important here. Also important to mention that into these last 2 events, it's only the top 6 that go, which is why we haven't seen some of the names, and that's sweet lifting from Shaw. Now then, can he get sub-27 as well? Can he beat Todorchev's time of 26.44? It's going to be very close indeed. Good effort from the American, he has done it. And Brian Shaw has just about sealed the competition with that one.
26.13.
26.13 confirmed.
The winner of the event, Brian
And that is very impressive indeed. Well, Stoyan thought he was big and strong, and that's exactly what he is. Shaw has taken
Brian,
this one.
you came in after the cut in a comfortable lead. You did this event, you took this event, and with only stones to go, which happens to be your favorite event, you look very comfortable.
Yeah, things are going well, you know. I love to deadlift, and, you know, I was like frame carry too, so you pair the two up, I do pretty well. It was all right.
And Stoyan Todorcev has been is moving up and chasing you. Is he going to be a threat in the stones?
Stoyan's a heck of a competitor, and, you know, I mean, he was quick on that, and he's always putting pressure, so I'm sure he's going to come out and put all the stones up, and I'll, you know, see what I can do to beat it.
Okay, well, we have stones to go, and we'll see what happened then. Brian Shaw, ladies and gentlemen.
Diplomatic answer from Brian. I think he'll be feeling very confident ahead of the stones. He leads ahead of Todorcev. That was a big win for Brian there. Nick Best in the end picking up a third place ahead of Jason Bergman. And that means that Brian Shaw continues to lead the competition. Todorcev's got his work cut out on the Atlas stones, and Nick Best is breathing right down his neck in third place. Atlas stones then, final event to come after the break. Stay with us.
The IRC Round 3, it's Argentina, one of the high points of the season. And what a cast having a blast. Meek, Wiltz, Hannon and Kopecky, plus a pack of young pretenders ready to pounce on any mistake. The Intercontinental Rally Challenge from Argentina, Saturday night at 11 on British Eurosport. Complete coverage of Premiership and European football. Every match with live comments and breaking news. Keep your eye on the ball at eurosport.yahoo.co.uk.
If you give blood, it's more than likely you're closer to the person who's receiving it than you think. There's a theory called the 6 degrees of separation. This states you could be connected to anyone else on the planet through a chain of no more than 5 other people. Why not give blood? You never know whose life you might save. Do something amazing. Give blood.
Welcome back to Venice Beach, USA for more Super Series action. We got the final event to come. And to introduce it, here's Anders again.
We're at the final event here at Venice Beach. Big Brian Shaw is in a very, very comfortable lead, but there are still 5 stones between him and winning. This is the Circle of Stones.
So our Circle of Stones, our traditional Atlas stones finish. 5 stones ranging from 140 to 195. Osland did manage to get nearly there. Nick Best as well. Couldn't quite make it all the way. Ratzikowski next up for Poland. It's come down really to a straight shootout between Todorcev in second place for Bulgaria and our leader, the American Brian Shaw, who's very good at this event and does have the height as well to stack those stones right up on the golf tees. Yeah, this is smooth, very smooth indeed from Christoph. Oh no. Oh, that's a shame because he was really going well. And unfortunately, the writing is on the wall. When a competitor drops a stone like that, it's very tough to get your momentum again, and that's a lovely lift. But Ratzikowski, in effect, has now lifted that stone twice. He's done 5 lifts, and now he's got to try and pull out a 6th on the heaviest stone at 195, and no, it's just not going to happen. That's a nice smile from Christoph. Here's when he's beaten. Hollands then. Nobody has nailed all 5 yet. Can Terry do it? Started well in this competition and then just faded a little in the last event. Needs a big result in this one, but he's made the top 6, which means he competes in the last 2 events. On goes a bit more sticky stuff. That tacky, very, very important in terms of aiding the grip when these stones are rolling. It's not easy. Nice work. Now then. genuine opportunity here for Hollands. Gone through those 4 in a little over 30 seconds. Just wants to check the time. And he has time. But he's got to get to work here pretty quickly. Now then, 195 is not going to budge, I don't think. There's got to be some lift, and when you've lost your momentum, when you've just had that pause, it's not easy. No, Hollands as well, deciding discretion is the better part of valor. 30.31 then, puts him in a good position.
Wisconsin's Jason Bergman!
Bergman next up. Good group of Americans for the home fans to cheer here at Venice Beach. If you've never been to this venue, it is well worth a visit. Big ooh and an ah from the crowd as he dumps the first one in. That's practically a slam dunk basketball style with the first 2. In goes the third. And the 4th. So, no real struggle to get to stone number 5. But he's not happy, is he? He's hurt himself. He's tweaked his finger. And with 195 to try and shift off the ground and a damaged finger, that's no fun. And Bergman's not the tallest of men. Oh, that's a shame. So close, and he's clumped his foot as well. Bergman limps out of that one. Good effort nonetheless.
Out of Bulgaria, let's hear it for Stoyan Todorchev!
Here we go then. This is where this competition is going to be won or lost, I think. Todorchev needs to lift all 5, and he needs to set a decent time, because with Shaw's height and technique, I think he'll be taking all 5. Todorchev's only hope is to do it faster than the American. That's a nice start. He's skipping through. Played a bit of basketball when he was younger, did Stoyan. And he's enjoying himself here. Up goes number 4, and it's a very good time as well. Just over 23 seconds, I think, for that. Now then, needs to compose himself here. Doesn't want to take too long, but at the same time doesn't want to blow it. But is this a step too far? Stoyan has it under control. But how on earth he's going to get it to the basket is beyond me. And it's beyond Stoyan, I'm afraid, as well. 22.5, so it's a great time.
22.5, and he's in the lead.
But he needs Brian Shaw to make a mistake.
Our final competitor is ready. Arguably the best strength athlete in America.
Anders is quite right.
USA's and Colorado's big Brian Shaw.
Arguably one of the best athletes in the USA at the moment is Brian Shaw, one of the most modest as well, that's for certain. But this is an event he loves. He excels at this. He's got the power, and as you will see with his first dump, he's got the height. Look at that. That's easy. Just drops the stone in. Number 2 looks good. Now let's see how the momentum is as it gets stronger. Still not using a lot of technique. That was all pretty much back and arms. Now, will he bounce this one off the knees? Yes, he does. Gets it and cradles it and dunks it. Now then, forget Stoyan's time. This is all about putting stone number 5 in the basket. If he does that, he's the winner. Venice Beach belongs to Brian Shaw. 5 stones, the only man to do it in 41.5. And you can't argue with that performance. Todorchev gave him a good run for his money here in the USA. But it's a home athlete that wins on home soil. Let's hear from him.
We are so glad. We sort of knew you were going to win. You were in a very, very comfortable lead. But we were very, very glad you showed that stone its place. Were you surprised to be the only man loading it?
Oh, no, not really. I've been in that position before. You know, I'm really good with the heavier stones, and you know, I haven't missed a stone this year in a run, so needed to keep that up. Good finish.
And is this another sort of statement in the discussion of who is the strongest man in America?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's the next step. Obviously, you know, coming out and winning this contest isn't bad, and you know, we'll keep it rolling, so we'll see what happens.
in Bucharest they kept you out of the podium. You will be coming to Gothenburg now with a win as well. There is a belt at stake. Are you aiming at that?
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, it's great to win overall, and there's a lot of great guys, and I'm sure everybody will be showing up to compete there too. So, you know, you can't overlook anything, and need to keep going strong.
So what do you think the chances are in percentage of that the World's Strongest Man Super Series champion 2009 is going to be Big Brian Shaw?
I think it's pretty good. You know, I feel pretty good. So, you know, keep it rolling, and we'll see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our winner, Big Brian Shaw!
So no bold predictions from Brian as to where the eventual series title might go. But here in Venice Beach, that fantastic effort. The only man to cover 5 stones, 41.5 seconds to do it. Brian Shaw takes top points away from the Sturkel of stones. That means that he beats Stoyan Todorcev into a very respectable second position with Jason Bergman in third. But Brian Shaw claims the title here in Venice Beach. Big Brian Shaw is the big man at the end of the day. That's a well-earned win. Going into the Gothenburg finals, Brian Shaw takes top honours as well there on the overall standings ahead of Nick Best and Todorcev. It's going to be an exciting finish to the season.
Eurosport HD is now available. A new dimension in sport.
Giants Live, the world's strongest man tour, mixing the world's biggest arenas with the world's most powerful men.
And the big men are gathered here at the Mohegan Sun, Connecticut.
For the 5th year in a row, the world's strongest men come back to Mohegan Sun.
Well, it's a fantastic venue. Got some fantastic